Well, here we have a bit of German, but also international aviation history. And of course also a model which we definitely should take a closer look at. All that right after the drop. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 737-700 of Air Berlin. At the front of the box we have a picture of the aircraft in real life, underneath which we find the Air Berlin branding. The backside of the box then features the image once more. We're also given the original dimensions of the aircraft and some additional information. So that's it for the box. Let's take a closer look inside and at the aircraft model itself. And here she is, the Boeing 737-700 of Air Berlin in the special Dreamliner branding livery. The aircraft in real life joined the Air Berlin brand new from the Boeing factory in May 2004 with this special Dreamliner branding. A few other aircraft in the world also had this livery, and that was all part of an advertising campaign from Boeing to mark the beginning of the 787 program. The corresponding model to the aircraft was made by Herpa in 2005, so let's see what it actually has to offer. And we start off with the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer have the Air Berlin branding incorporated into the Dreamliner color scheme. On the fuselage we then have the full registration code of the aircraft and the German flag, as well as a little logo where I believe it says Excalibur, but I wasn't quite sure what that was about. Perhaps a leasing company, but if you know more about it, let me know in the comment section below. At the very tail of the aircraft, the model fails to give us any detailing around the APU exhaust, which however wasn't quite that unusual for the time this model was released. At the front of the aircraft and following the rather wavy Dreamliner color scheme, we have the Boeing logo rather prominently displayed, and we also have the aircraft type specification. The cockpit section itself doesn't offer as much other than the classic window configuration of the 737. The engine itself, well, they do also of course feature the Dreamliner color scheme. They also have the airberlin.com branding and the silver leading edge, but that's all we get for printed details, but not unusual again for the time this model was released. The physical detailing of the engines I think is overall actually rather good. And also when we look into the engines from the front, we can very nicely see the engine fan blades, although I would have wished for the fan blades to be in a darker grey tone and not this bright metallic look. Then on the fuselage, just above the wings, we have the emergency exit printed on, which leads us straight to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at. Starting off here with the top side, where we have the different flaps, slats and spoilers carved out very nicely, but that's all we get. No printed details here whatsoever. The underside of the wings I think also look very decent, but of course here also nothing beyond the physical detailing. And therefore my personal highlight on the wings are the winglets, which very nicely incorporate the Dreamliner color scheme. And then we have the landing gear, and that is the standard landing gear that Herpa used for all their 737s at the time. There's not much to say about it. Overall it looks decent, but it doesn't really offer much other than that. And then last but not least, we do also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here at the back of the aircraft, and also here at the front of the aircraft. So there we have it, the Boeing 737-700 of Air Berlin in the special Dreamliner branding livery from Herpa Wings and scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? The model itself doesn't offer too much, to be honest, but it has the standard detailing that we could expect from Herpa Wings at the time, both when we talk physical detailing as well as printed detailing. And none of that, I believe, can convince anyone to buy the model. But what can is of course the livery, because it is from a different time where the future still seemed bright for Air Berlin, or at least they believed so, where Air Berlin for example ordered the 787 and had big plans with a new hub in Berlin. All that didn't come to fruition, and today we only are left with this aircraft model that reminds of a chapter in aviation history that is now long gone. So while, as I say, I don't believe this aircraft model really offers much when it comes to detailing, I do very much like models with a history, and I think this one has an interesting one, so therefore I would say yes, it is worth having in one's collection. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.